A few days ago we saw the new release, the new gameplay overview of the Blood of Dawnwalker, and I am going to be honest, I think this game doesn't look good. It looks quite mid, and I am using the term mid correctly because I am sure many of you, when you say it's mid, what do you mean with mid? And many of you are going to say, oh, mid is like a 7. Fucking retards. You come straight from the movie Idiocracy. So no, mid is like a 5. It's a 5. It's not like a 5, it's actually just a 5, because if your scale goes from 1 to 10, mid has to be 5. So this game looks pretty mediocre, and it has me even less excited now than the previous trailer. For starters, the UI, the HUD, it just looks completely cluttered. I hate these games that have tons of information in your HUD. It clutters the screen, and it's not because I want my games to look super immersive. It's because the design, it looks like the design of one of those free-to-play MMOs that constantly throw messages and buy this new sale and shit like that. That's how it looks like. It looks really bad. I also despise this type of compass in the top of the screen. I hate that. I don't like that. Just give us a mini map or something and remove that whole fucking text in the top right corner. Hide those stupid items. I don't need to see them all the time. This HUD design is pretty bad. What we see next is this guy climbs a tower, and that reveals points of interest. Where we have seen that before? I don't think we have seen that before, guys. I think this is new gameplay. This is probably going to establish a new standard in the industry. Holy shit. We have seen this garbage for probably like 20 years, maybe more, who knows. But I am tired of this shit. I just hate this mechanic of, oh, I just climb a tower and I just all of a sudden know where everything is. It's fucking stupid. I don't know who came with this stupid idea, but I am tired of this shit. In fact, I am tired of open world games that want to reduce the discovery. The only reason to have an open world game is because you are going to take advantage of the open world by putting points of interest, by hiding stuff, making the player feel rewarded for exploring the game world. But this is the type of design that I hate. Game developers many times go against their own game design, and this is one of the times where their own game mechanics go against their own game design, because you are giving me a mechanic to uncover parts of the map for me just by climbing a stupid tower. All of a sudden I know everything around me. That's bad, because that is destroying the value of your open world and the value of discovering new things. I don't like that shit. If you're going to make an open world, make the player discover the things, like in Elden Ring. I want to discover them myself. You stupid clowns. I don't want you to spoil the open world to me. And then we see the map, and honestly the map looks completely uninspired. I don't like the design of this map, and on top of that, why the fuck is the map showing or giving me information again? Once again, why are you going against your own game design? Why are you cluttering the map with information that I am not supposed to know? Why are you giving me information in advance? What's the point of having an open world then, if I am not going to discover shit? For example, there is this part in this video where it shows person in danger, someone who may need your help, on track. How the fuck does this guy knows that there is someone in danger in that specific area? And you are going to say, because I saw this comment in the comment section of this video, I saw already some people defending this shit, because you have to remind yourselves that you are surrounded with fanatics. So I know it's hard to believe, but the Blood of Dawnwalker already has a shit ton of fanatics. So they are going to defend everything about this game in advance, even though the game hasn't been released yet. And of course, people like me that have doubts, that are making criticism, are the bad guys. We are haters, guys. So it's forbidden. And forget about posting stuff like the things that I am saying on Reddit. Your post is going to be deleted. And if it's allowed to stay, you are going to be downvoted by this cesspool of fanatics. Reddit is a safe space for fanatics. It's the worst site when it's about fanaticism, followed by game facts, then Discord and Steam discussions. But all those sites are fucking garbage. They are just sites, they're just basically churches of these cults. So if you try to post anything negative or some criticism, oh, prepare yourself, because you're going to get banned. This is why I started making videos, because I was not allowed in any of these fucking sites, anywhere. They entirely removed my voice. Well, guess what, mother? You are not going to win. So now I am making videos. Fuck you. So, like I said, how is this guy supposed to know that there is a person in danger in that spot? And someone down the comments said that it's because he's a vampire, that he has super hearing skills. That would make sense if it was actually a game mechanic, like an ability that you could use to hear a few meters around you. If you could use an ability that let you hear your surroundings, that would be a cool mechanic. But this is not it. That's fanatical cope. No, this is the typical Ubisoft, Ubisoft open world with a ton of check marks around the map. I hate this open world design. This open world design needs to fucking die. And the problem is that it's not going to die. It's not going to die. And the reason why is because gaming is not a space for gamers anymore. It's just not. Gaming is completely invaded by tourists, by people that don't know shit about games, like Asmongold for example, and they get to be famous, they get to be millionaires, quote unquote being gamers, but they don't know shit about video games. So sadly, these companies make these games with the sole purpose of making money. They no longer really care about making a game, and that hurts the gaming industry as a whole, because now we have to, these companies have to accommodate these people that aren't gamers, so they have to dumb down the games really badly. So we are stuck with these open world games with all the information displayed around the maps, filled with check marks, and exploration is no longer a thing in these games. Open world is just there because the normies like open worlds, not because it has a gameplay purpose. That's it. After that, we are shown that you can transform in a wolf. That's a cool mechanic. I did that. It looks kind of low. I am going to agree with the people that complain about the animations a bit, but I am going to be honest, that's not my priority. My priority is having good gameplay, and that's my main problem with this game. It doesn't look like it has good gameplay. I don't give a fuck about the graphics or the animations. The gameplay is the core of video games, and sadly this game doesn't look like it's going to have great gameplay. Then the conversations, exactly as you will see them in The Witcher 3. I think these developers are trying to copy or trying to be The Witcher 3 too much. And that's bad. That's bad because we don't need more The Witcher 3 in 2026. We don't. The Witcher 3 was a really outdated game when it released. People loved that fucking game, and I am not saying it's a bad game, but it kinda is a bad game. It was kind of outdated back then. The combat is pretty fucking bad. Now, it's not as trash as in Crimson Desert, but it wasn't great. The character building, it was just quite bare bones. You can break the game really easily. For example, you can just eat food and you can regenerate forever, just like in Crimson Desert. There is no limitation on your regeneration, and you can even just break the game by learning Quen, that protective shield that you can cast on yourself that regenerates health when the enemies hit it. You can just break the game by using Quen. It's the Witcher 3 is so comically bad designed that is really easy to break. You have to actually get mods to get some semblance of difficulty out of that game. Even on the hardest difficulty, it's a fucking joke. Now, I know games are not all about difficulty. They are not. The problem also with The Witcher is that it lost many aspects of the previous Witcher games. My favorite Witcher game is actually the first one. Oh, but the combat is bad. You can say that, but it's unique. The combat of The Witcher 1 is unique. It's trying new things, and it actually worked for that game. I remember the combat of The Witcher 1 more fondly than anything that happened in The Witcher 2 or The Witcher 3. Just the combat, it doesn't excel at anything. At the very least, you can say that in The Witcher 1, the combat is unique. In The Witcher 1, you actually drink potions. I felt like alchemy mutations and all of that was more relevant in the first game. I actually felt like you were playing a Witcher in the first game. In the second and third game, it seems like all of that takes a backseat to the story, to the narrative. If you play the games as they were released, The Witcher 1 was trying to be a game, The Witcher 2 was trying to become a movie, and The Witcher 3 became a movie game. That's it. That's why I don't particularly enjoy The Witcher 3. I don't think it's a bad game, but it kinda is a bad game in many aspects. In my opinion, The Witcher 3 is a movie game. I also remember that the open world in The Witcher 3 serves no fucking purpose. It's just there for the sake of being there. Another game that displays everything on your map, and even if it didn't, the things that you can discover are pretty fucking lame. There is barely anything to discover in The Witcher 3 open world. The gearing, your equipment, the weapons, the armors that you can get, pretty lame. It was essentially all about crafting one of those Witcher sets, and that's it. That's it. There was not really any variety whatsoever. You also have to download a mode that adds better weapons and more variety of loot, because the loot in The Witcher 3 was pretty fucking bad, and that's another con of having an open world, because you have an open world and you don't even support it with the actual loot. It's bad in my opinion. So another aspect of The Witcher 3 that was mediocre was the decision making. The Witcher 2, especially the first one, you actually make decisions and you actually get to live and experience the consequences of the decisions that you make. Contrary to The Witcher 3, where the decisions that you make barely even fucking matter. The Witcher 3, in my opinion, it's a downgrade, and the Witcher series should have stayed as a game about decision making with a very enclosed space, not open world, where replayability is the key and the purpose of the games, making different decisions and experiencing the consequences of those decisions. This game, The Blood of the Dawnwalker, seems like it tries to be that, and that's what got me excited about this game. But the problem is that I think they are trying too much to be The Witcher 3, and this is going to play against them. This is going to be against them. Trying to be The Witcher 3 is going to be bad for them. They copy the same mechanic of The Witcher 3 of finding clues around you. Like I said, they are trying too much to be The Witcher 3. This is not going to play in their favor. Another criticism that I saw in the comments was the fact that this guy was biting this guard's neck, but these guys were wearing chainmails. How the fuck is this guy biting through the chainmail? That honestly looks pretty retarded, and this is a missed opportunity to make gameplay more varied, because guards having their necks covered by chainmail or by plate armor should be a game mechanic to prevent the player from doing exactly what they are doing in this video, which is cheesing the game or having an easier time recovering health during combat. That should be an in-game mechanic, because that also adds to the immersion, because it tells to the player that the people around, the people that live in that period of time, that live in that world, are actually aware of vampires, and they are actively doing something to prevent from being killed by these vampires. It's really more immersive and adds to the experience when the enemies are aware of the existence of these vampires and actively do something to fight them, to fight their tactics, the player tactics. This is bad. Overall, the combat looks decent. I am not going to speak too much about the combat, because you can't really tell much about it by just seeing it. You have to play it. But I am going to say that it does look better than The Witcher 3's and Crimson Desert's combat, because at the very least it doesn't look like it's roll spam the fucking video game, and it doesn't look like it's stunlock the video game. So at the very least it looks like it's not one of either of those things, and that's a plus in my opinion, because I hate when video games are roll spam the fucking video game or stunlock the fucking video game. Fuck that shit. So this is a positive point in my opinion, because even if the combat doesn't look spectacular, at the very least it doesn't look like it's complete slop. This is a problem. This is the main problem I have with the game. Who the fuck thought that spending skill points should cost time? Who the fuck thought that was a good mechanic? Fire that motherfucker. Fire that motherfucker right fucking now. This is stupid. I am all on board with this time mechanic because it adds consequences to your decisions. I like that, but that time mechanic should be only spent by doing key aspects of the story. These guys are making spending time on almost every fucking activity. That's not going to work. You are making me spend time by upgrading my character. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. That doesn't work. It's not going to work. You are going to receive massive backlash for this shit. You better change this shit. You better change this shit, or you are going to see the consequences. You are going to experience the consequences of that decision. You're all for players experiencing the consequences of their actions. Well, you are going to find out too about experiencing consequences of your decisions, guys. I am telling you in advance, remove this shit. This is stupid. If I was limited in the amount of money that I could spend in video games, and if my decision on spending that money was decided by watching this video, I would vote to not spend my money on this game just because of what I saw in this part of this gameplay reveal. Many people are going to decide against buying the game just because of this stupidity. You have no idea how many players are going to drop the game because of this. You have no fucking idea. This is fucking retarded. Please remove this shit. We don't need this shit. So it's daytime now, and we are now seeing that this game has a similar system, or a very familiar system, with the Nemesis system of the Shadow of Mordor games. I like that, but it doesn't seem like it's actually the same system. It's similar, but sadly it's nothing like that. And we don't actually really see if these bosses are going to confront you about it. Fuck those guys that patented the Nemesis system. Game mechanics shouldn't be able to be patented. That's just awful. That's just completely anti-consumer, anti-gaming, anti-everything. So even if it looks similar, it may not be the same, but who knows. What I am also want to tell you is that if those are the only bosses in the game, this is bad. Only 4 guys are your bosses in the game? That's just pretty bad. What's going to be the length of this game? Like 7 hours? 10 hours maybe? I don't think. This isn't looking good. This isn't looking good. We also see that they do this side quest where this guy breaks some barrels, some blood barrels, and they spent like 3 points in this time bar by doing so. This isn't looking really good. This time mechanic, I am on board with it, but only if it's not intrusive. I am not on board with this time mechanic if this is going to be intrusive for the gameplay. If you are constantly going to have to avoid doing certain things to avoid spending this time. Also, this time mechanic doesn't work in an open world game. They shouldn't have gone with an open world. They should have made the game a very confined, very enclosed space, like in Witcher 1 or Witcher 2. You can make quests that take certain amount of time to fail in an open world game, so long as you are not artificially spending the player time when the player engage in an activity. For example, let's talk about that garbage game Skyrim. Let's pretend there is a quest in Skyrim where if you don't solve some mystery in a quest in about 7 days, you fail the quest. So what is going to happen is that the days are going to run normally, as they always do, and during these days you are going to engage in different activities, maybe exploring a dungeon, maybe fighting some giant, something like that, and you are going to have plenty of time to solve the quest. The problem with this game is, imagine in Skyrim you had this quest, you only have 7 days to solve this quest, and all of a sudden if you enter a town, 1 point of your time is spent. Or you decided that you want to level up? Fuck, now you're going to spend 2 points, maybe 3 points, depends on the skill of your time. Fuck that shit. Oh, you want to attack this bandit camp? Go ahead. By the time you finish the bandit camp, you spent 3 points of your time. Fuck that shit. That's dumb. That mechanic doesn't work in an open world game. It's not going to work here. If this is an open world, it has to be the most boring, the most terrible open world, so people don't want to actually explore it. And let's be honest, it actually looks like the open world of this game is so fucking lame that maybe it's going to work because people are not going to be excited about exploring this piece of shit. That's the problem. I don't know why they went for an open world. This game is not going to work with that open world. It's not, and even less if you're going to annoy the player with these time skips. This is every time you do something you're going to skip time. Fuck that shit, especially on your skills. No, that's just retarded. We are also shown this part where instead of having an actual horse, you now have a spell that makes you run quicker. This looks cheap. And I am going to say something else. I don't like this stupidity that during the day you're not a vampire and during the night you're a vampire. That's fucking stupid. I don't like that shit. You should be playing a vampire through the whole day. This is stupid. This is dumb. There is no way to say it in any other way. This is dumb. This is fucking dumb. This shouldn't be the case. So we got to see more combat and more time spent. Anyway, I think this game, it's looking mid. Many of its mechanics seem like they are not going to work. They need to remove that shit that spends time when you are upgrading your character. That shit shouldn't even be there. And in my opinion, this game is not looking good. I have many problems with this game. I don't know what you think, but in my opinion, this game is looking pretty mid.